why not coming through to obviously have a very huge say onto what you've gonna hit to ask me. And in here onto the Rokani Media Football, I've coming through to obviously hit you the reason as to why I believe Arsenal has only one option left for the striker, and it's none other than Victor Gyokeres. Welcome to the Rokani Media Football. How are you guys and where are you watching us from? I go by the name of Rokani David. It's a Saturday in my country. I don't know what time it is in your country, but this is the channel that brings you your latest news and information as far as everything is really concerned. And Gyokeres is the only Arsenal option. You get? He's the only option left for Arsenal, and I think he's the only option. He's the only striker that Arsenal is going to be looking at in this, this summer transfer window, because all of the strikers that Arsenal really want to get are really expensive, and the cheapest left on the market is Victor Gyokeres. So we are going to be talking about the strikers that Arsenal has been linked to for some time, those that have pulled out of the race, those have decided to go to the other teams, those that Arsenal decided that they're not really ready to obviously get them in. And obviously we are going to be backing this video with huge facts, and let's see close to 300 likes smash on this video, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. Kendra Deron, thank you for watching through, and Masiko Godwin, also thank you for watching in through. Let's obviously take it to the level that you guys deserve it to be here onto the Rokani Media Football. Now let me read you the list of center forwards that Arsenal has been linked to. Arsenal has been linked to, always linked to, Joshua Zirkzee, Santiago Jimenez, Ivan Toney, Gyokeres, Benjamin Sesko, Montreal, Vlahovic, Victor Osimhen, and very many others. Even Gyokeres, who was playing for Stuttgart, was also linked to Arsenal. As it stands, most strikers are really leaving the market, and they're really leaving the market with other teams coming in through and obviously showing huge interest in them to sign them and take them far. You understand? So as it stands, the side of Arsenal is left with one striker, and I'm going to be giving my reasons. And I think it's exciting that Arsenal are going to hit to find themselves caught into the situation where they cannot really jump out of the flying pan without really getting in the best fried striker in the mix. Benjamin Sesko was the first striker that Arsenal went ahead to obviously show huge interest in, and the problem was Benjamin Sesko decided to stay RB Leipzig, although Arsenal had gone ahead obviously put in what we call a very huge effort. Arsenal had gone ahead to put in a very huge effort in there for you to sign him. Arsenal, Manchester United, and Chelsea had gone ahead obviously put in their project proposals on the table of Gyokeres, and his agent decided to sit it that in the table of Sesko, and they decided to stay at RB Leipzig. That is one. Alexander Isak, he's a variable. Newcastle is willing to sell the player, but he has a hefty price attached on his head. 150 million pounds to 170 million pounds. That is the amount of money that they have to cough to obviously sign this player. Close to 200 million euros is the amount of money that we've gone ahead to see to it that is being put on that guy. Oh, Richard Fenny, thank you for watching in, my brother. And that puts Arsenal in a different situation altogether, known to obviously put in a shift that is really well required to do the needful for the club. You understand? So the other guy, I think those are two that Arsenal had really genuine interest in. Ivan Toney was the other, and Arsenal pulled out of the Ivan Toney deal because of the price that Brentford was putting on this guy. Remember, Brentford said they want 60 million pounds for a 27-year-old who is really going, I think he's even 28, he's going to be making 29. So Arsenal was like, compared to the situation that he has been in, right, and his character and mentality, they don't want him here. He was serving a suspension or a ban for 6 months because of what he went ahead to do in betting. And what if Arsenal signs him for like 60 million pounds, and then 6 months later, after him signing for the club of Arsenal, another case of betting is found on him, and he's banned for another 6, 7 another 6, 12, 10, 24, 30 months without playing the game of football. You understand? So that will delve Arsenal into another situation of really spending to get another striker. So they got out of the queue that was lining up for Ivan Toney. The other striker has been Joshua Zirkzee. Joshua Zirkzee, I don't know why they pulled out of the deal, because it's just £35 million, but it looks like Arsenal were not interested in that kind of player, and he might be heading to Manchester United. Now, let's go to Victor Osimhen. Victor Osimhen has been one of those players that is being considered for sale at Napoli, but the price tag is really huge, and Arsenal are really not willing to pay this. If Arsenal right now is negotiating the fee of Gyokeres to go down, to knock it down to like £60 million, so that they can obviously pay for him, I don't think they can go in for a player who is £100 million plus, meaning that Arsenal has gonna hit to pull out, and Arsenal pulling out also comes after interest confirmed is really for PSG and teams coming in from Saudi Arabia. This is gonna hit to come in from the mouth of the manager of Antonio Conte, and then later Fabrizio Romano came up and obviously put in a very huge shift in there for you. Antonio Conte said, remember, Antonio Conte is the new manager of Napoli. He said, I know the situation very well. There is an agreement to let him leave. It's different compared to others where a veto exists, or where a veto power exists. In this case, I'm assisting. He is a player at an exceptional level, but there is a previous agreement in place that was explained to me when I joined, and I accepted it. Now, after him saying that, Fabrizio told us that Osimhen expected to leave Napoli this summer. He remains under consideration at PSG. Saudi also expected to try again after Osimhen rejected 3 offers last summer. So, when you look at what we are having there, it shows you, one, that Victor Osimhen wants out. Napoli are willing to sell, but Napoli are willing to sell on one condition. And one condition is anyone who pays £120 million, that is £105 million plus. You get? So, if you cannot pay that amount of money, don't think about going in for this guy known as Victor Osimhen. And if at all I ask you, do you think Arsenal is in line to obviously pay that amount of money? Right? Do you think Arsenal is in line to pay that amount of money? I doubt. I don't think Arsenal is in the mood to pay £100 million for that player. It looks like Arsenal this time round don't want to obviously pay £100 million for a player like they did last time, because last time they spent 105 onto the player known as Declan Rice. And after paying that amount of money on Declan Rice, it really resulted into Arsenal being one of those teams that have ever gone ahead to buy a player of £100 million. And those teams include Arsenal, Man City, Chelsea. Manchester United have never, by the way. You know, there are few teams that have ever gone ahead to buy players for £100 million. You get? And this time round, to show you that Arsenal was not even willing to come close to paying £100 million for any player, one of the players they like most is Bruno Gyokeres. And when you look at Bruno Gyokeres, he's really one of those that has come to be wanted by Arsenal. He has given them green light. Arsenal have gone ahead to talk to his agent, but they've come up and told Newcastle that we cannot pay £100 million. That is it. We can't pay £100 million for a player called Bruno Gyokeres, and he's a Premier League proven player. Now, if they can't pay £100 million for a Premier League proven player, I don't believe that Arsenal can really go ahead and obviously pay that for any player that is really playing outside the Premier League. You get? Because they know the risk is really huge and the risk is really high for anything to obviously happen and take place to that level. So it comes to my understanding that Arsenal knows exactly what to do, and they don't want to sign a player of £100 million. And Napoli are not willing to knock down their price. So they are here waiting to see how things are really gonna pan out. Right? So I'm also here waiting to see what is really going to be happening on Victor Osimhen. So Victor Osimhen joined the list of Isak, Zexi, Ivan Toney, Benjamin Sheshko. You get? And those are 5 off. Now, with those 5 off, we obviously go to another player. There were reports from Portugal, Germany, close guy, and a close source in Germany that confirmed to us that in the rest of Gyokeres, Borussia Dortmund fear FC Arsenal the most. At this stage, Gyokeres has not yet made a final decision. No club has received his commitment. As of this evening, Dortmund has made it clear to him that he is their desired striker for this summer. Decision soon after Gyokeres has informed BFP Stuttgart that he will leave the club in the summer. Stuttgart have expected the decision. The talks were always fair and open. That was a story put up on the 25th of this month. And by that time, it was okay. And Arsenal were a threat to signing Gyokeres, right? Now, days later, Fabrizio Romano put out a here we go. It was the next day, on the 26th. This story that Arsenal was linked to Gyokeres was published on the 25th. On the 26th, 24 hours later, Fabrizio Romano broke this story. He told us that Serhou Gyokeres to Borussia Dortmund, here we go. Borussia Dortmund have received the green light from player side after working on this deal for months. Gyokeres has accepted and 4 more steps will follow. Borussia Dortmund will pay the release clause around 17 million euros to Stuttgart. That is what we got in from Fabrizio Romano, meaning that the moment we had a here we go, he was off the queue. You understand? He was off the queue and nothing was going to happen. So that is it. And we got to know that nothing is going to happen. So for me, I was like, even that one was going to hate to slip through the hands of Arsenal. Whether the interest was concrete or not, Arsenal may have gone ahead obviously speak to this guy. And a lot would have gone ahead obviously happen and really put in a very beautiful shift in there for you. So that is the man himself, known as Gyokeres, slipping out of the hands of Arsenal, meaning that he was another striker that Arsenal have gonna hit obviously miss out to obviously bring in through at the club of Arsenal. So you really understand how things are really panning out at Arsenal, and it looks like nothing is really gonna stop them from obviously keep moving on to the next striker until I went ahead obviously come up with a resolution that looks like Arsenal has only one striker option left for them to obviously go ahead and really convince to sign. That is according to me. And to show you that he's the only striker left, Fabrizio Romano has told us the following. That I don't think Arsenal will go for crazy money. So has to be maybe a different structure of a deal, or Arsenal could look at different possibilities. Now, if Arsenal is to look at different possibilities, even the cheapest strikers on the market are over. The cheapest strikers on the market are over. You get? Gyokeres, 17 million euros, has crossed to the side called Borussia Dortmund. Joshua Zexi is not that kind of player that Arsenal is interested in anymore. The interest was there, and Arsenal dropped out of the race. After Arsenal dropped out of the race, Man United and AC Milan took center stage, and his release clause is gonna be valid from the 1st of July to mid-August. You understand? So, no striker is really cheap available. The only striker available is Victor Osimhen, and he is more expensive than Victor Gyokeres. And if at all Arsenal cannot really knock down the price of Victor Gyokeres, are really still arguing and really trying to negotiate down the price of Victor Gyokeres, how can they go for Victor Osimhen? You understand? So it is really a tricky situation for the club of Arsenal. And I tell you what, it is really going to continue to be like that. And we call upon for your reactions into the comment section below. And I'm going to be going through what you call your live chat. You get? And really see what your thoughts are about this. So smash the like button, comment and share. And then later, I'm going to come into the live section and obviously have a say or a talk with you on what your thoughts are about this. So, thank you guys. Thank you guys for obviously being part of this, and I'm going to hit to see most of you showing huge intent into the comment section. Transfer Daily, thank you for watching in through. Richard Penny, I see you. Natumanya Osbat, thank you for watching in through. So, that is how I came up with this story, that the only striker option left for Arsenal is Victor Gyokeres, because he's the only person who ticks all the boxes for the club of Arsenal. That is it. I don't see any other player that Arsenal can go in for. I don't see that player, guys. I don't want to lie to you, but I don't see that player. I don't see that player who can come in through and obviously act all really fit the budget of Arsenal. I'm having Fanny Richard, wow. Long good morning, all right. Natumanya Osbet, we really need a striker than Havertz. Yeah, but I think if at all I'm Arsenal, I do one thing. I work on increasing the creativity of my team. That is it. I tell you, even if it's Kai Havertz or Gabriel Jesus leading your line and creativity is really high, like every game you average 3 clear-cut chances for your number 9, there is no way you're going to miss out on your number 9 scoring very many goals. But the problem has always been not creating enough for the number 9. That is the hugest problem that Arsenal will encounter ever. Then Richard Fenny, if Arteta just get only 2 players, striker and midfield, Arsenal doesn't only need 2 players. Arsenal needs like 4 players. 1 midfielder. They need a right winger. They need a center forward. And it said that they need a left back who is really left-footed, who really balances the two very well. The offensive side of the pitch and the defensive side of the pitch. That is it. So I think 2 signings are not enough. You get? Transfer Talk Daily. Hello, my brother, for watching through. You are saying Arsenal looking at Gyokeres. Yeah, they're looking at Gyokeres, and I tell you, he is, for me, the striker that might come in through and end up at the club of Arsenal. I don't find any other striker coming in through at Arsenal because of money problems. Because Arteta would have gone ahead to love to obviously get him through a player like Victor Osimhen, but the money is really huge. And the salary that he comes on with is also high. Transfer Talk, well, you never know. Emily Smith-Rowe and Igedikent here are for sale 50 million. Yeah, but I think they've gonna hit to put 50 million pounds on Eddie Nketiah. I've gonna hit read on that story. I've read about it. I don't know whether there is a team that can offer them 15 million pounds, right? Maybe 35 million pounds and 15 million pounds of add-ons. And those will obviously depend on the terms and conditions set in the deal that says him leaving that side. But for Emily Smith-Rowe, I know they can give them 50 million. That is it, because he's a talented player and he's appreciated by very many teams. That is Emily Smith-Rowe for you. Zexi are in deep negotiations with AC Milan and Manchester United. Yeah, Arsenal pulled out of the deal. Arsenal not out of the deal of Zexi. They are not out of the deal, and I'm going to hit to hint on it clearly onto this channel that he might obviously play for Manchester United, because even AC Milan has gone ahead to obviously pull out of the deal. So it's that tricky, and it's really becoming huge. So we're here to wait and see how things are really going to pan out in here onto the Rokani Media Football. Then I'm having Brian Walter. Good to meet you live, my man Rokani. All right, good to meet you always. And you can as well continue to go in the live chat. We're having some 10 minutes here left because it's late in the night. Tomorrow morning, we'll obviously wake up to a live, and I will obviously be talking to you for close to 1 hour. Then I'm having Masiko Godwin. Good morning, Mr. Aradi. Thanks for the podcast. kudos, all right? He has also been sending in those updates. But Natumanya Osbat, Bournemouth is, so you're talking about Solanke, right? That Solanke is really a better option for the side of Arsenal. Yeah, I know Solanke is a very good striker. Solanke is a very good striker. When you look at his numbers, you can easily come up to a conclusion that Solanke is good. You get? And him being good is not only onto the pitch, but also off the pitch. He has leadership skills. He's an English player. And for a man who played for Bournemouth, in 38 games, he scored 19 goals and 3 assists, 22 goal involvements. It's really something that you should look at and say, all right, this is a guy ready to go to the next step. 26 years of age, you understand, and he's really promising, you know. He has gone ahead to obviously raise high like a kite. He has raised higher than a kite if you have to look at his performances. Because in 2018-2019, 10 games for Bournemouth, 0 goals, 1 assist. 2019-2020, 32 games for Bournemouth, 3 goals, you understand, 1 assist. 2022-2023, 33 games, 6 goals, 7 assists. You get? Last season, that's when he scored 19 goals in the Premier League and 3 assists into the Premier League. And he went ahead to play 3 games in the Carabao Cup and scored 1 goal, taking his tally to 20 goals a season. That is the guy called Solanke. So for me, I would obviously welcome Dominic Solanke at the club of Arsenal because of his attributes, and he has shown us that he can score very many goals. But the buyout clause, £60 million, is what is put onto the guy of Dominic Solanke. So I don't know whether Arsenal will obviously go in for Dominic Solanke, but he's one of those strikers that is really good and can obviously put in a very huge effort when he comes in through the club of Arsenal. Then I'm having Brian Walter. What's up with Gyokeres? I was like telling you that Gyokeres, the only striker option left for Arsenal, and that's what I've gone ahead to be explaining to everyone who's been watching in here, because when you look at all the strikers available, no one can, Arsenal cannot afford Osimhen, £106 million. Others say he's even £116 million. So they cannot go for him. You get? Zexi is moving to Manchester United or AC Milan. Ishak, a lot of money, £150 million to £170 million. A money that can obviously eat the entire budget of Arsenal. Benjamin Šeško, he said he's going to stay at the side of he said he's going to stay at the side of RB Leipzig. The other guy is, what is his name? The other guy is Ivan Toney. His character was proven unreal by the side of Arsenal because of his betting scandals. Brian Brobbey, he got an injury during the Euros, right? There is no Arsenal is going to consider him. Vlahovic looks like he's okay with Juventus. He cannot really move. So the other striker that is left is Santiago Jimenez. Santiago Jimenez plays for the side of Feyenoord, and he's just 23 years of age. Last season, he played 30 games in the Eredivisie. He scored 23 goals and put up 3 assists. That is the guy known as Santiago Jimenez. So that's what he went ahead obviously offer for the club of Feyenoord. And so I tell you what, he's one of those that Arsenal might look up to because he's a striker, 1.8 meters tall. He's good on the ball, and he has been linked to Arsenal on several occasions. And when you look at his transfer fee, let's obviously Google a little bit about him and really tell you exactly what his transfer fee is all about. Fee. Santiago Jimenez. How much is Feyenoord calling in for this guy? And it said October 2023 Feyenoord will demand a fee of 100 million euros for Mexico striker Santiago Jimenez, who has been linked to Real Madrid, Tottenham Hotspur, and Arsenal. Right? Now let's wait and see in 2024 how much is gonna hit to be put on his head. You get? It's saying Napoli has been in contact with the intermediaries of Santiago Jimenez, initially at 50 million euros. His fee may drop to... So, his fee is between 40 to 50 million euros, meaning that he's a striker that Arsenal can obviously want to get in. You understand? So, he's also another striker. So, it looks like Gyokeres and Santiago Jimenez are the only two options left that fit the financial muscle of Arsenal. That is it. I'm having Brian Walter. I said this long ago and will insist Arsenal does not need a striker. Get a midfielder, left back and right forward to compete with Saka. Then we are good to go. Sell the likes of Edin Nketiah and Reece Nelson. To me, they might be needing a striker, but before they get in a striker, the other things they have to first solve first. To me, first things first. Get in a guy who is really going to do the needful for you. You know? And creativity at Arsenal should increase. And there is a narrative that has been building in my head, and it's all about Victor Gyokeres. It's all about Mikel Arteta sitting down with his team of Arsenal and really doing a review of their season, asking what really failed them to win the trophy. And for me, the answer is simple. What failed Arsenal to win the trophy was, one, having two new players into the midfield, Rice and Kai Havertz. The chemistry took long to build in between them and the captain of Arsenal, who is undroppable in that midfield of Arsenal. And you saw to it that when the chemistry built up to the highest, you saw to it that Arsenal was really scoring and really continuing to really win very many games. You can all agree with me and admit that Arsenal really had a very bad start of the season, not so? That is it, compared to how they started the previous season of 2022-2023. Because Arsenal went unbeaten for some time, and the team that beat them was Manchester United, and I think Arsenal had gone ahead to play, I think, was it 5-6 games unbeaten, and it's Manchester United that went ahead, obviously beat Arsenal. When you look at the fixtures of Arsenal and the results of Arsenal last season, if this team had gone ahead to click in well, I tell you, Arsenal would have gone ahead to collect close to 100 points. Let me read to you how Arsenal went ahead to start the season. They beat Nottingham 2-1. Crystal Palace 1-0. The third game of the season, they dropped 2 points to Fulham. 2 points that they would have gone ahead to need to obviously win the trophy. You understand? Listen to these games. Then Arsenal beat Manchester United 3-1. They beat Everton 1-0. They drew with Spurs in the 1, 2, 3, 4 in the sixth game of the season, meaning that those were 4 points dropped. If Arsenal got those 4 points, they would have gone ahead to be, I think, 3 points ahead of Man City. You understand? So, it shows you that if Arsenal starts really well, and they really play very well this season, they'll find themselves really doing the needful. You understand? So, if Arsenal starts the season with the players they're really having, because they've gone ahead to build the chemistry, they are going to come up and obviously do the needful and obviously win very many games at the start, and chemistry will be huge amongst those players. So that's what is crossing in my head, and I think they might be like, we might not be needing a striker. All we need is to get in a left back, get in a central midfielder, get in a winger. 3 players, add on Raya, and the rest will be history. You understand? It is really in my head and looming around, because for me, I've never gone ahead to believe the reason as to why Arsenal failed to win a trophy is because of not scoring goals. Arsenal scored very many goals. Arsenal went ahead to score very many goals. If you remember, when you look at the Premier League table, of 2023-2024, Arsenal scored 91 goals. You get? And conceded 29. So the problem is Arsenal conceded very many goals. You get? The 2 goals they conceded against Fulham, when they've gone ahead to score 2, you get, is the problem for them losing the trophy. The 2 goals they concede when they've scored 2 against Tottenham Hotspur was the problem. For me, that's what I'm thinking. I don't know what your thoughts about it, but for me, it resonates to be that. So let's wait and see how that pans out. But I believe Arsenal just needs to have a very good kickstart and not only have what we call that side of really thinking that a striker is really going to do the needful. Because if Kai Havertz gets creativity, he can score you 30 goals in the Premier League. That is it. Get him chances. He has shown us that he's clinical. Get him those chances in, and you'll obviously score them. Then I'm having Manilo Mohammadi. Thanks for the update. Then Brian Walter, a winger like Neto, all Kudus, can create more chances. What they need, wingers like Neto, Kudus, there is Nico Williams and very many others. They can come in through and obviously do something great for the side of Arsenal. Then Brian Walter, in my opinion, Arsenal's starting low was to reserve energy for the second half of the season, cause last season they started with a high tempo and at the end they burnt. I think they never burnt out. The problem was the injuries they faced. The injury of William Saliba and Thomas Partey affected Arsenal hugely. You get? I also had that in my mind, but when you look at the distance we were really covering, it was almost the same they covered towards the end of the season. What we termed as Arsenal starting low was Arsenal lacking what we call good chemistry in between Declan Rice, Kai Havertz, and Martin Odegaard. You saw to it that after that chemistry came in sync, all sank in, Arsenal was really like a hungry lion that was going to hit to be released from its den. That's how Arsenal was, let's all admit. So let's wait and see how things pan out. But Gian Molecu has said already, thank you for the update. I'm watching you from Ghana. Thank you, my brother, for watching me from Ghana. It's always nice having you onto this channel. So guys, that's what I had for you. Thank you for watching through. And I'm going to be recording one video in the next 1 or 2 hours and obviously be uploading it there, and you guys will find it there. And you tell me what your thoughts are about what I'm thinking about. Rokani David remains my name. I sign out for now. See you later. I cover you all in the precious blood of Jesus Christ. The most